Cloudcover is your trusted source for managed IT, hosted voice, and cloud solutions. In today's world, IT is an essential part of business, no matter if you visit with patients or perform lawn maintenance. All companies need some sort of technology to effectively communicate with their clients, process requests, keep accurate records, send invoices, pay bills, the list goes on. Whatever industry you are in, Cloudcover can help, whether you have your own IT staff or not. Cloudcover has solutions that cover businesses of all shapes and sizes. When IT breaks down, it can be costly. Let Cloudcover build your most robust, reliable, mobile, and secure platform that will keep your business running smoothly and securely while providing the flexibility of working anywhere. Give us a call at 225-755-9422 or visit us on the web at cloudcover.com. That's spelled CLOWDCOVER.com. Cloudcover, CLOWDCOVER.com, a proud sponsor of Hustle Makes It Happen, the podcast.
With combined decades of experience, the staff at Rockstar Buildings will make your next metal building purchase quick and easy. Specializing in all types of metal buildings, from carports to garages to barns and more, Rockstar Buildings wants to be your go-to source for all your metal building needs. Priding themselves on experience, reliability, quality products, and stellar customer service has made Rockstar Buildings our choice for our metal building needs, and we could not be more pleased with the workmanship, service after the sale, and of course, the hustle of everyone at Rockstar Buildings. Y'all, let me tell you about the hustle of Rockstar Metal Buildings. I personally use Rockstar Metal Buildings to build a 60 by 40 shop at my house, and I could not be more pleased with the quality of product and service that they provided to me. They were awesome from start to finish. Give them a call or visit them on the web at rockstarbuildings.com to see the many examples of what Rockstar Buildings can do for you. Rockstar Buildings, a proud sponsor of Hustle Makes It Happen, the podcast.
What's up, everybody? You listen to Hustle Makes It Happen, a podcast about the grit, the determination, and the mindset it takes to become a winner. Success is not an accident. It lives outside your comfort zone, in the trenches, where excuses are met by brick walls. So strap in, tighten up, and let's get ready to hustle. What's up, hustlers? Welcome to another episode of Hustle Makes It Happen, the podcast. Man, each week I walk in this room, I love it. Before we break off in this episode, season 2, leave a review.
That's the thing, man. Look, new viewers, if you're a new viewer, we're not going to ask you for a review. If you're a new viewer, just go out and tell your friends about it and then come back and get you some more content. If you're one of our long-term viewers and you watch the show week in and week out, it would really help us out a lot if you'd go on Apple Podcast, drop us a 5-star review, tell us what you love about the show. We read all of them. We appreciate everybody. That's the plug, man. Let's roll with it.
Yep. So this week we have someone, it's a new genre realm that we've never had on the show before. We have Miss Anna Couture with Trifecta Sports Therapy, the CEO and owner.
Yes, guys. Thanks for having me today.
No, we're so glad you could join us.
Man, I love it. So I'm a personal client of Anna and her team, and I know I've seen the ins and the outs and the team that she's built over the years that I've been a client. So I knew in my head that this woman definitely needed to be on the show.
Yeah, I want to talk about some of the things that you've done. So I did a little independent research on you and your business, because this is the first time I met you was today. But from what I understand, like, you guys started out pretty small, and now you're just like absolutely taking the sports therapy world in this area by storm, working with like all the LSU athletes, all the local athletes. I want to talk about how you kind of, in such a short time, were able to take what you had and love on it or whatever. That seems to be a theme from a lot of our guests, is talking about loving on their business, and how you just were able to catapult that thing in the stratosphere, and the grind and the hard work that it takes to get into that. So That's what we're looking to pull out of today.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I couldn't have done this without the community here supporting me. And I think we're going to talk about that a lot. Being a good person, being a good communicator. I think those are the two things that I hope every entrepreneur can get from this, or every hustler can get from this. It's just being organically you. And I wanted to be a good person and put good energy out in the world. And I think we're being blessed from that type of mindset that we've put out there.
So tell our viewers and our guests a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my background's a little different in the massage therapy world. I was an athletic trainer at LSU, so my degree is in sports medicine. So we focused as athletic trainers, so if you've seen them, those people that are on the sidelines for games, with youth athletics, collegiate athletics. I had the opportunity, like I said, I was an athletic trainer at LSU and also at University of Southern Mississippi with baseball for a few years. And so we would focus on the prevention and rehabilitation of injuries to all different types of athletes. Mine was focused in like the collegiate world. And my husband's an athletic trainer as well. So he just got this amazing opportunity after we had gotten married to move to Tallahassee to take a job at Florida State. And it was pretty big deal, dream job for him. And I loved my job at LSU so much. I was like, I am not leaving this place. So I sent my new husband to Tallahassee, and I lived in Baton Rouge with my sister and her husband, and hustling without realizing I was hustling. I just loved being part of that athletic department. I moved there a year later and tried to do a few different jobs, and I think we're going to talk about that later in the segment. Like, asked a few things that my failures or ups and downs. And man, I was like Will Smith in The Pursuit of Happiness, carrying like a device bag around and going, crap, I had my dream job at LSU. How am I doing this now? And how can I just pick myself up, rebrand myself, figure out what I want to do? And a long night of drinking coffee, wine, maybe everything. I don't know. I tell this story all the time. And I woke up in the morning. I was like, I'm going to massage therapy school. And my husband's like, no offense, but you want to just do massage therapy? And I said, I want to put a athletic medical spin on massage therapy. I'm going to do what I did in the training room, but we're going to reinvent how people see traditional massage therapy. And so pretty awesome. Spent that next year grinding in a program, and I was blessed. There was a school called the Core Institute, and I'm still really close with my mentor, George Casalis. And last class, I mean, total God's plan that he was like, okay, you know what? I'm ready to hang up. He teaches all over the world. And so he was ready to kind of stop his brick and mortar. And I was like the last program that graduated. We'll talk about this later too. I even just had the opportunity to bring him in. He's 72 years old, and he came in and worked with my team last month. And he's coming back the week in the Bama game to finish a couple more days of training with the staff. So just to kind of, once again, communication, being a good person and being a good networker. Like that relationship I sealed in, I was in that program in 2013. And for us to still be close friends, it's just a testament on what it takes to be good to people and how everything comes back tenfold, I think, if you do the right things.
Yeah, no doubt. And look, I'm totally on board with where your mindset was, because no normal, sane person wants to leave LSU and go to Florida State. So
I know.
I could totally understand why that would be a mental struggle for you. But aside from that, like, whenever you talk about your dream job, like, I think, look, a lot of people around here, especially in South Louisiana, anybody that can have any additional affiliation to the LSU sports program, like, they are full blown into that. And you sound like had you been doing that for a while?
Yeah, I mean, my husband and I graduated from the athletic training program at LSU. So that was what our degree was in, sports medicine. But it's really the only program, or it was at the time, that was like a 4-year apprenticeship. So when we were in college, we were learning medical rehab, modalities, taping. It's more than taping ankles and giving football players water on the sidelines, is what people say when they see athletic trainers. But wow, the behind the scenes stuff, to know a player might come and say, my stomach hurts, I think I tore my ACL, I'm having some mental issues, or I need some counseling on nutrition. And at least having to know a little bit about everything. Wow. And once again, I wasn't the end all be all. I had to say, look, I'm going to get you to our dietitian. I'm going to get you to our sports orthopedic surgeon. I want you to see our family practice guy. But having to know a little bit about everything. So it was an amazing job, and I loved every part of it. And in fact, when we graduated from college, I went and got my master's at Southern Miss, and my husband went to Florida State So that's where that little connection was. And I remember crying and being like, I'm never going to come back to LSU. This is amazing. I did 2 amazing years at Southern Miss. And at the end of my master's program, they actually hired me on full-time to work there. And kid in a candy shop, couldn't have been more happy to be with that baseball program. And maybe 6 months later, LSU called and offered me the softball position. And I was crying again because I didn't want to leave Southern Miss now, because that was my dream job. So just like being in the moment and being present and just falling in love with what you do all of the time. So like every step along the way has been my new dream job, or something that I loved, or something that I got emotionally invested in. So then I came back and worked with LSU for 6 years with Coach Yvette Gerard, and then 1 year with the current coach, Beth Torina. Amazing mentors, amazing leaders, taking me under their wing and really making me feel part of the team. And you go to all their practices, all their weightlifting sessions, you travel to all the games with the team. You're the one on the side if someone falls and has an injury. What I do now at Trifecta is actually, it's still very important, but it's a little less aggressive mentally. I mean, I was the phone call for everything before, and now I'm just a nice little complement to the sports medicine team, and it feels good because I'm able to kind of work on balance in my family life and not working, the demanding schedule that LSU is, although I loved it.
Nick Torito at Area Home Lending, Louisiana's top choice for mortgages. If you're looking to buy, build, or refinance, they have you covered. Don't get fooled by one of those online or out-of-state banks. Nick and Area Home Lending are Louisiana-based and lend in all of Louisiana. From Lake Charles to Lafayette or all of Baton Rouge to New Orleans. If it's in the state, Nick and his team are local experts and ready to help. Your home is one of the biggest decisions and investments you will make in your life. With trust, commitment, and care, Nick will walk you through the process, step by step, making the hardest decision easy and ensuring the process is as simple and painless as possible. And with Nick, you'll find out that you're not only just another transaction or number on the list. He's invested in you, and you become family with his goal to create a relationship that will always be there. Area Home Lending has access to the best loan programs too, and with the lowest rate and fees, all while delivering exceptional customer service. Please give him a call today at 225-663-2500 or visit him on the web at www.areahomelending.com. I guarantee you, he will take great care of you. Nick Torito and Area Home Lending, a proud sponsor of Hustle Makes It Happen, the podcast.
Yeah. Have you always had a passion for athletics?
I did. I think in college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I remember we were like in a cafeteria freshman year, and you fill out like your little thing. And I was like, I love writing. I am like, if you had to spell check me and grammar check me, I'm terrible. I was like, I think I'd make a good writer. And my friend's like, man, I really see you helping people. You love helping people. Maybe physical therapy would be a good route for you. I was like, cool. Physical therapy. And I just signed that off. Just my friend Alyssa in the cafeteria at LSU. And so I did a few years of pre-kinesiology focusing on physical therapy. And I went and did some internships in some clinics in New Orleans. And I realized I wanted a different type of population, a little bit more athletic population. And I guess physical therapy is stereotyped by like an older population, which it is not. And now we'll get back to that too at some point. We see people now at Trifecta of all ranges, and I actually love the older community. That's like my passion now too. So
they probably listen a little better. I can imagine dealing with a bunch of like young college age dudes, or you tell them to stay off their feet, and they're like, "Nah, bro, not happening."
No, I have a client that was a 3-star sport athlete at LSU under Charles McClendon. So he's like telling me these stories, and his roommate is Billy Cannon, and it's just beautiful to hear people in their life and how they've evolved and their stories and their life lessons. So I get every drop of goodness from every client, being an elderly client, a pro athlete, an athlete from LSU, your daughter, Bryn. I mean, everyone brings something to the table that comes to Trifecta. But I decided at some point how I was going to make that work. And so we were in Tallahassee finishing up, and my husband got a job opportunity here at LSU to work with the baseball team. So we moved here, and I started my business. And I always tried to give one shout out to the most amazing Mac Daddy person is Jenny Peters helped me start my business here with Varsity Sports. Her and Jane Swift and the whole Varsity Sports running community Trifecta wouldn't be Trifecta without them. So I always have to give them a shout out.
I love that.
I mean, every time I like to thank a lot of people, and I freak out when I don't thank certain people. But wow, they really made it happen. In terms of even her helping me secure my first location, her teaching me how I was going to have appointments. I remember I sat in her office and I'm like, I used to see my athletes 3 times a day at LSU. I'm like, how am I going to help people get better? These runners want to come like once a month. And she was like, do you play golf? And I was like, no. She's like, you're going to have tea times. And she helped me learn how to schedule. I mean, just above and beyond grateful for her. And then in terms of, y'all had asked me some other mentors. I had amazing mentors here. Jack Marucci, who was the director of athletic training, and now he's the director of sports science for LSU. Shelly Molinex, Mickey Collins, and Bo Lowry, who's now the new director of sports medicine at LSU. The amazing education and mentorship I got as being part of a team at LSU, not only from in the undergraduate program, as well as from when my coworkers in the sports medicine department at LSU. Everyone has contributed helping make Trifecta what it is.
You seem like you've actually taken these opportunities and you have run with each one of them.
Yeah, I was just about to tap into that.
That seems like that's almost like part of your story, is that you've had these things that have kind of come your way, and some people let it pass them by, or they don't take the opportunity when it knocks. You're almost like you kick in the door and you're like, yeah, I'm ready for that next step. Were you that way in school, like growing up, or did it just organically just pop into your brain through high school and college? Or
I mean, I think all of this has really organically happened, which is why I think it's even so much more impressive and beautiful, and how proud I am of it. I was telling you guys earlier before the show started, I moved back here because my husband got a job here, and I went to a running thing with Varsity. Jenny said, hey, you're going to set up a table, you're going to work on the runners, you're going to have your pricing, and I was writing stuff down like on pen on the back of an envelope, trying to show clients. I had no idea how to market myself. I knew I could do good work. I knew I could help people in the community. And a dear friend of mine, Scott Higgins, Blend Wine Bar, I'm giving you a shout out. He might be your next hustler. He got on the table and I was stretching him out the table out at, we were outside at a running event, and he said, man, I'd love to maybe have some maintenance work on my body. I'm a big runner. And he said, what's your schedule look like this week? I had 0 clients, 0. And I was like, oh.
Well, let me check the calendar.
It's like, let me check my calendar.
I
was like, I think I can squeeze you in on Thursday. I mean, I had nothing. And so, just a bunch of people have done really good things for me. And I, like I said, along the way, try to thank everyone for all their opportunities that they've given me. And
so now listening to you having 0 clients and working off some probably makeshift table at a running event, knowing your business now and how well oiled it is, you had a lot of processes that you had to put in place, and growing from a very small facility. Every time I walk in the door, there's a new wing of Trifecta Sports Therapy. Every time I walk in, I'm like, wow, there's a whole new hallway and faces I didn't see the previous time I was there. So that means your team is growing. What are some of the things that you faced as a growing business? And you have 3 kids all happening in the midst of this too, right?
Yeah. So when I started Trifecta, I was a 1 year in newlywed, but like I said, I hadn't lived with my husband. So imagine moving. I had moved there for a year with him. Then we moved back here together, and I just started this business. And I really thought I was going to spend most of my time doing some contract work with the student athletes at LSU in the massage therapy realm, not doing the athletic training for the team, but just coming in and helping the athletic trainers do some massage therapy, which we still do today, and we'll talk about. But I had Jenny Peters set me up with this awesome guy, Henry Galindo, and he was a massage therapist in town. And he had a little space that he had, and he let me rent a room there. And there was another lady named Donna Langley in there, and we became besties. So it was Donna's business and Trifecta. And then Trifecta started to grow. And thank goodness we had a few rooms in there. And I'm like, Donna, I need a second room here. Donna, I need a third room here. And I was like, Donna, I need to borrow your room sometimes. And so we were busting out of the seams. And let me backtrack for a second, too. I'm a one-man business originally, and I had a lot of clients. And here comes my first baby. And so I was like, oh crap, what am I going to do here? How do I take a maternity leave? I have all these clients wanting to do recovery work. So that's been a process. And I think I haven't really had a lot of downs, but I've had a lot of obstacles and bumps in the road. So she doesn't love that I give her name out to everyone, but I have an amazing business consultant. I'll just say Kendall, giving you your shout out here, but I don't reveal your last name because she operates on the DL. But she came in as a client to get a recovery session. She was a big runner in town, and I asked her what she did just, in conversation, and she was a small business consultant. And I'm like, well, I'm a small business. Can you consult me? And she said, well, what do you need? I said, I don't know. I was still scheduling everything in pencil on a calendar. I was trying to do this. I was trying to manage life. I had a small kid. She had a small kid. We really bonded on that. And she really helped take Trifecta to the next level. She said, sounds like you need an employee. And I said, well, how do you do that? Sounds like you need a software system. How do you do that? Sounds like you need someone to manage your books other than your husband doing like an Excel document, which Corey, that did work for a long time. I'm not knocking it, but things that you had to put in place to make the business run. And her idea was, if you spend the time and the effort and invest in the business on the front end, you're not correcting a lot of mistakes on the back end. So it was things that I didn't have money or time to do, but we put a lot of systems in place so that if Trifecta did grow, we were prepared for like the growth of Trifecta. So she's blown me away about her involvement in the team, and she helps do a lot of the HR stuff for our team, and so couldn't be more grateful. So every team member. So she helped me find my first therapist, Brenner, which you're going to give Brenner a shout out here.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was me and Brenner, Rockstar, right?
Absolutely, yes. This guy is top notch in every single way. I've had many ailments over the years, and I know that he's been attached to Anna forever, and he's worked me out and just stretched me in ways that I felt like $1 million walking out of that place.
It's
never thought that a massage could make you feel better in that sense. Like things I'm like, man, I didn't realize my hamstrings are that tight. And then you walk out and you're like, wow, I didn't think you could fix that.
Yeah, you got me stretching now. Like, you got me thinking about going to get worked on.
And as this has grown, we started working with a few teams at LSU and more teams. There's another massage therapist that when I worked at LSU, she worked independently. She's a awesome one-man business. And she still does some stuff with the university. So we would split teams. But as this has grown, LSU has wanted more and more in the recovery. They're very big about providing all of the extra additional resources for the university. And they have a nutritionist and psychological services. All of those things are within the athletic department already. So they do outsource Trifecta to come in and help complement some of the recovery stuff for their team. But Brenner went over to football for years by himself. And then as this has grown, they've wanted more and more therapists, just so more and more athletes could receive the therapeutic benefit of having some pre and post game recovery work. But I'm telling you, I bring a whole team, and he's like the rock star over there. Like there's a line waiting for him, and I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs. I'm like, I'll see you too. And they're like, no, man, I'm on Brenner's table here. So just realizing that every person that's on your team, it's like I learn from them every day. I hope they see me as a good role model and person and leader. But I mean, I give a lot of credit to my team. Like this couldn't operate, and Trifecta couldn't operate without them. So my hustle is just a little different. My hustle is just putting some good energy and putting people on a pedestal, not putting myself or the business. We're all Trifecta. And Trifecta, like I said, wouldn't be there without the incredible therapist, administrative team, Rivers, who does our social media, Lee and Hannah, our office coordinators. I mean, and all the amazing therapists. I mean, it was me, then it was me and Brenner. We have 8 therapists and myself now, and we have someone going to school in the process right now to secure a license in that. So this is just organically grown, but I wouldn't say it's just by accident. We've put a lot of plans and systems in place to make this happen.
That's nothing's by accident. Yeah, we say that in the intro. Success is not an accident. So you had to put these procedures in place. You had to look at, kind of take a strategic look at your business. That's the way I think anyway. I always think about like backing up and taking a strategic look at the business and trying to identify areas where you're strong and areas where you're weak. I don't know if you ever heard of a SWOT analysis. I like those. It's a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It's a good 50,000 foot view of what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what opportunities exist in your market, and what threats exist to you and your business and your market. And it seems like even if it's not as formalized as what I'm talking about, what you did, it seems like the same thing. Like you were just looking back at what you needed to do to grow and achieve your goals, and then you had to stop and come up with a deliberate plan. There's two options. You can either come up with a deliberate plan, or you can just fumble your way through it and learn by failure. I don't know which you took. We haven't gotten that far yet.
No, I mean, she did kind of touch on it, though, and I was actually about to say that, is that early on, she was starting to, rent these other rooms and figure out what she needed to do, and she was growing and growing, but she started to put systems in place. It seemed early on, like she said, when we grew.
Yeah, with that business consultant.
Yeah. And
whose name we're going to get after the show. Full name.
You will need her.
But it's awesome that you had that foresight, because a lot of people do it, and I'm not saying it's the wrong way.
It's not. It's just the hard way.
It's the harder way
to
figure
the fumble
out.
through it.
Yeah, and it's like when a business hits a plateau, we're talking
about
this literally riding in the truck talking about this. When a business or any type of platform you're engineering or running hits a plateau, what's the plan? And if you don't have that plan, then you're going to sit in the same spot, or you might hit a stroke of luck.
Yeah, you're probably going to waste a bunch of time and money just bouncing your head off the same wall over and over and over again, right? But like, I'm a firm believer, and Chase is on board, that whenever you hit some kind of plateau, or you're starting to hit that hockey stick that businesses dream about, right? Business is starting to pick up. You got two options. You can either continue doing exactly what you're doing, which your processes might be so good that like it's just going to keep running. But more than likely, what's going to happen is you're going to get to some point where you can't do anymore without a deliberate effort and without a deliberate plan. That's what Chase and I were talking about this morning. Is like whenever you hit this plateau, if you want something to change, you can't just continue. It's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Hey, y'all, if you're in the market for a real estate attorney that can handle all your title work needs, all your closing needs, all your succession needs, whatever your needs are in the real estate industry, look no further than our friends Shay Landry and the group at Milestone Title. Y'all, we use these guys for our personal business, and they have never let us down. They've been on top of the game every time we've used them. So whatever it is that you're looking for in the real estate industry, as far as a closing attorney or title work is concerned, check out our friends over at Milestone Title. Milestone Title, a proud sponsor of Hustle Makes It Happen, the podcast.
Or a few things, like as a single therapist, you cap yourself out. There's only so many people
right.
you can see in a day.
Sure.
And I actually was probably fine with that. I don't even know what I needed from her when we started, because I never envisioned Trifecta to be what it is today. And I'm like super blessed and grateful for it. But that was what I learned early on, especially working with someone that had worked with a lot of businesses. A business owner is usually really, really good at their craft. They might not have any knowledge of like business systems or how to run a business. They're good at their craft. So having someone come in, someone told me this other day, what a consultant really does is help eliminate mistakes, put procedures and policies in place, and help you hopefully eliminate mistakes that you would have made, especially early on, especially when you have no clue what the heck you're doing other than, you can work with people, and so that's what it really allowed me. Once systems were in place, I already had wonderful relationships, especially since what we do is a little bit more medical. I had all these team physicians, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Dr. Stephen Etheridge, Dr. Brent Bankson, the whole crew were really wonderful to me as they were our team physicians for LSU. So I already had a lot of systems in place in terms of networking, and them knowing that they could trust me to work with their patients, because I was working with the student athletes at LSU, and that had good result. What I did there is a little different. Someone tears their ACL, I was bringing them through the rehab from the day one of going actually and watching their surgery to bringing that student athlete home, calling their mom, and their parents lived, California, all over the country, knowing that we were going to take care of their student athletes. So what we get to do here, I'm not downplaying it. We're just a different element in the sports medicine team now. But someone like you, Chase, you don't have an athletic trainer. So Trifecta is it for you to come here and look at your ailments, put you on a maintenance plan, and figure that out. And so you were saying the SWOT analysis. I don't know if I necessarily have thought of any threats against Trifecta, because there are a lot of really good massage therapists in the Baton Rouge community that aren't part of Trifecta, and I give them all their props too. You know, it's a big community, so not everyone's going to come to our facility. I hope they do, but there's a lot of other independent massage therapists in town that I really greatly respect, and I reach out to them from time to time to get information or advice on different things in terms of their protocols. Katie Green, I love following her. There's just some wonderful people in town that I know are doing good things as well. And
it's
so
good that you look at it that way too. And some businesses don't have very visible threats. You know what I mean? Like our business does on the other side, but it's a different genre. So it's good to know that there may not be anything that's just like looming, like that's a threat.
Yeah. So I guess let's go. What's the A?
It's SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Okay, so the strengths was I knew I could perform a good service to the team, to the community. I knew people receiving regular work versus coming in once a year, once every 6 months, putting people on a plan. The weakness was I really didn't know how to do that and what the strategy was. How are we going to get these people in that used to come? What they see as a massage is a luxury and it's not a necessity, and they come on their birthday and they want to have more a relaxation session, which nothing is wrong with that. We at Trifecta just offer a different type of therapy program. Opportunities. I had plenty of opportunity with the networking in the community, helping find someone, which I did, to put a system in place for us. And like I said, the threats, we really didn't have the threats. So the opportunity we took was, how can we get people coming regularly? I had this amazing group of triathletes. I just talked about this on my last podcast. Will Jones with Fourth Dimension Fitness was really amazing and influential, helping me send me a lot of his clients. And then there was a girls group that migrated, that's part of that development. And I used to do a lot of stuff with them in the community and help them and do massage therapy for all the girls. They call themselves Group 3, and it's just a bunch of badass moms doing triathlon and running businesses and being moms and being business owners. And it's just amazing. I'm really floored by the amount of determination.
Look them up.
I think we might have Lindsay Callie. I'm going to get the whole Group 3 pod on here. It started with Lindsay Callie and Adrian, 3 girls, and there's got 50 girls in the group now.
That's
just
cool.
all badasses. Yeah. And so I used to win Best Massage Award every year at their banquet. And I'm like, I'm the only one doing massage here. But I love that group. And so those badasses would train for a race for, like, can I say badasses here?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want here.
They train for these Ironmans. I mean, this isn't like no joke. This is a full freaking Ironman here. And so I would see them, like, once again, a little nervous to tell people how often they should come, especially when it was, financial based. And that was a weakness for me, just setting it up and actually charging people for my service, because I would do it for free. I love it so much. I really would, and I did for a long time until we put some systems in place.
Well, you're not the first person that's told us that. We had another lady that came and sat in here with us and was talking about her business, and she talked about charging what you're worth and being unapologetic for it. She's like, you know what your services are worth, you charge what your services are worth, and that's the price, and people will come or they won't.
That's not how I started. That
right.
might be my weakness.
She didn't either. Though.
Yeah, she didn't either. She learned that through some failures.
I think I had a week that I had like 30 clients, and my husband's like, you made $200. And I said, yeah, someone brought me eggs. Someone brought me tennis shoes. Someone didn't have money, and I treated them. But I treated them 3 times that week because they had a hamstring strain. He's like, oh my goodness, we're really going to need to put some systems in place. He's like, yep. We have babies at home, and not even about the money, just the amount of time that you are sacrificing from your family has to have some type of reward, be it financial, be it job security. Sure. It's like I said, I feel I have tried my best to not make this just financial, and then that's how we have been blessed tenfold. But what was I saying with the triathlete group? Oh yeah, they all just started coming, and I said, how can I have them see the therapeutic benefits to come in all year round versus coming and doing like a package and seeing me every other week the last 3 months of their training. Like if Bryn's just getting ready for Worlds and you just work on her the last one time before Worlds versus saying, hey, let's create an opportunity. And Chase, you do this as well at Trifecta, I believe.
Yeah, so she comes probably once a quarter right now. As her volume intensifies as she gets older, she'll probably come once or maybe once every other month.
Yeah, and so what we started doing for the community, I was like, man, these women, I'd see them like once a week, for the last 3 months of their training. And I was like, man, I'd rather see you once a month all year round so that when there's never a time that you stop training. So the race is over and they might not be training for the race, but they were still swimming or biking or running or doing athletic things, going to the gym, picking up their kids, sitting at a desk typing. Like life still happens, life doesn't stop when like your event is over. And so we developed a maintenance program for the community, and that people could decide what worked in their lifestyle, what their therapeutic needs were. Do you need to come once a month and that's just keeping you on maintenance? Do you need to come every other week? We'll talk about, I have some referrals from physicians. There's a doctor sending you here and they want you to come once a week till we get you feeling better, and then we space it out and get you to come once a month. So we started this maintenance plan, and like fingers crossed, let's see how many people we could get to come in monthly, more so because the more you come in, the more therapeutic benefit you receive. You understand, like you will feel better. If I was kind of a little discouraged originally that I would have a lot of clients, but some people were coming every 3-4 months. They weren't getting better. Their shoulders still hurt. That little hip was still tight. But just educating them on the why of coming more regularly. And once they started seeing the benefit, then they really believed in the process that we had in place. That's when they refer their best friend. That's when they send their wife, their husband, their kid. That's when the doctors send their patients. And so we have a few hundred people that are coming monthly and receiving the therapeutic benefits that Trifecta has to offer. And our service plans range from people coming one time a month, anywhere to weekly. I wanted to offer some services that were important to recovery, but maybe not always a one-on-one session with the therapist. Save time, finance, everything. And so we offered some additional services for the community and for our members. So we do infrared sauna therapy, which is very beneficial to recovery and working out, and does a lot of repair to the body. We have the Normatec compression boots for the arms, legs, and hips. And so people can come in just once a month, and then maybe once or twice a month, they just want to come in and just get some compression therapy.
Justin has no idea what you're talking about.
No, I'm just like blank face, but it sounds cool.
Well, guess what? The next, maybe
I need to start coming. My back is tight. My hips are tight. I've been doing a lot of moving.
Let me ask you, I don't know if we can do this, and I don't know if you double dip on your hustlers, but maybe the next hustle can be at Trifecta, and we'll do something in the boots, and y'all can receive some therapy over there. I should have set that up in the first place. It's not all fancy like your studio here, but we could figure that out. And then I also just started doing some group mobility classes. People were asking me, and I have a small little 6-person class that I'm offering that we do a little massage, a little bit of stretching, a lot of recovery, a lot of relaxation, and I offer that too. And so I know we were maybe more not talking about the business and just the ins and outs of the business, but I just wanted to explain how our model works. And then it gave all of our therapists excitement because they know they have clients that are coming in regularly, and then they receive the benefits. And man, it's like we have Eggy Salon Studio next door. They're like wonderful neighbors. And then there's a new boutique medical spa, Meraki, and they're in the back of our building. So it's 3 woman-owned businesses. Man, we support the heck out of each other. So it's been awesome. And just being able to see good people coming in our door. And I always say that the hair salon is next door, but we are the barbershop. Everyone walks in and 2 people be walking out of a treatment room and they're like, oh, that was my friend in high school, or that's my doctor and they actually just sent me here, or man, I didn't know my dad was in the next room. And it's so awesome to see good people coming into our business, and they refer more good people. So once again, that's the thing, being a good person and being a good communicator. And that's how I believe, that's how all this has grown so organically and so fast, I might say. So
tell me give me your definition of success in Anna Couture's life.
I mean, so I was a little hesitant when you said the hustle, because I just don't feel like this has been a hustle for me. It's a labor of love. And so success is just being a good person, being someone that's a good team leader. I want someone to think of me and Trifecta as someone that's like loyal, compassionate, honest, trustworthy, and just a general person that's putting good energy in the world. And I think that's going to be, I don't know, that's my take on how I hustle,
good.
Just it might be a different take, but I mean, I just feel like the success I've been blessed around the good people that have been around me and have supported me and supported us. And my mom and dad, man, I couldn't have done this without my family. But when I got to Tallahassee, my mom and dad wanted to pay for my massage therapy school. It was just a pretty hefty price of school when I had already had my undergraduate and my master's. And my mom and dad gifted me that, and I just forever grateful to them. And she said, we're going to call this the fish market. And I said, what do you mean the fish market? She said, well, we can give you fish, or we can teach you how to fish. And it was just a beautiful thing that's never left me. And her especially saying that Jesus was a fisher of men. And so for me to go out and use this labor of love to kind of help reach the community, them and God and my family have just blessed me. And I'm just super grateful every day. So when the fish market started, my mom's like, how was it today? And I'm like, little baby shrimp, but we're going to be okay. And then when we hit tilapia status, that was our big thing. The fish market has definitely grown, and it's been grown by a lot of people have helped me get to where we are as a team. I live next door to my sister, and my brother-in-law is my best friend. And so we have 6 kids between the two of us, ages 8 and under. And I couldn't have done this without them. There was a point that I was on a trip. My sister looked at her husband and she said, where's Anna? He's like, man, I think she's on the road with gymnastics. And she's like, where's Corey? Who's my husband? He's like, I think he's in Arkansas with the baseball team. And they were like, who's watching the kids? We forgot to probably ask someone to watch our kids, and they just took them for the night
just
for
dropped
us.
them off.
Oh,
yeah.
just
Home Alone, but
Home Alone, but next door. And so we couldn't have done that without them. So thank you for letting me give them a shout out, Becky, Derek.
Katie Benton Thompson is your local trusted realtor. Born and bred in real estate as a third-generation realtor, she deals with developments from lots and to houses. Katie was raised building the parish of Livingston. Her family roots have grown this parish for the last 30 years. This environment has educated Katie in all areas of real estate. I can tell you from personal experience, Katie Benton Thompson is a hustler in every way. She is constantly digging her heels in to give her clients the best buying or selling experience she can. Give Mandy Benton Realty Group a call and ask for Katie Benton Thompson at 225-953-0677. So it seems that I would say one of the biggest obstacles that you have is work-life balance.
Yes. And I think everyone has that.
It can be, and finding it's something that we want to touch on a lot, because I feel like some people dive so far into it that, what they sacrifice on the back end is detrimental to their life. They might hit the check mark and succeed, but they might sacrifice too much. You're finding how to do that each year, each week, each month?
Every day. And it's a challenge. I'm sure it's a challenge for you guys. It's a challenge for everyone that listens to this podcast. It's a challenge for everyone that I know that struggles with it. I mean, at the 1 year of Trifecta, I had a 1-year-old baby. So, I mean, this all just happened pretty quick, and my family grew pretty quickly. And the amount of time that my husband was involved with LSU and the amount of time I needed to put into Trifecta was kind of sacrificing, the kids at home. And like I said, my mom has been really big on saying that you don't get this time back with your children. And every time that the business would grow, I'm like, Mom, help me out. I just need 6 months. I need to find another therapist. And then she's like, we had this conversation. Every time you find a therapist, the kids can't be put on the back burner. So just finding that special time to dedicate to your family, and knowing where to draw the line. Where I've been blessed to draw the line is I have just been able to grow the business and have more wonderful therapists love on our community and take care of our clients, and they feel like they're getting exceptional care no matter who they see. I'm to the point now that if a therapist is sick and I agree to sub in, clients will say, no, I'll just wait for my therapist. They're getting such good relief and benefit that it doesn't have to be me that provides the service. So, I mean, just doing this with an entire team, I can't thank the team that we have enough. I mean, it wouldn't be the same without them.
So looking at where your business has grown to now, are you still consulting a business consultant?
She's migrated roles a little bit and does a little bit of everything. Helps us with some administrative stuff, some consulting, staying on top of it because this constantly involves helping us design new spaces, helps with the human resource management for our team. And
I was just wondering that because I've seen where your business has grown in the time that I've been around. So I'm just wondering, are you still are you thinking about that? Or are you still keeping that professional in the back pocket to help with those? That's good because, if you call this place, this isn't if they have a missed call, I promise you within 20 minutes, their receptionist and administrative person is calling back. They're like, "Hey, Chase, saw that you called. What do you need?" Like, and then everything, reminders, apps, text messages, emails. This thing, it's a well-oiled machine.
Oh, and then like Hannah and Lee are now teaching me how to run the office. Like, I'm like, oh, that was a missed call. They didn't leave a voicemail. They're like, you call every missed call back. Like, we call it.
They do.
And so they are on it. They're way more on it than me. And I'm like blessed to have someone that everyone gives so much love and takes so much pride at being part of the team. It's like, that's what can make you sit back and cry and go, wow, this is a wow moment. Like, I couldn't do it without them, and they realize it, and they treat Trifecta like it's theirs, and they should. They've earned every part of this recognition, being part of the team. So,
being that you're the team leader, you're the face, but you have these wonderful subordinates and team members that have come up underneath you, because there's not a lot of rotating faces outside of Trifecta. Most of the people I've seen in there stay there. You add new faces, but because you're growing. What kind of team building do you do, or recognition do you do with your team? And this is something that, as we grow, I might, take a little note from Anna's book.
Oh, well, like I said, as we've grown, we've done things that I think will benefit the team in the future. We don't do as much team bonding as we should. We even struggle to find a staff meeting. We're so dang busy. We have so many clients. You're like, okay, we'll make it at 7 a.m. And they're like, nope, Brenner's got someone at 7:10 a.m. Like, we all work at different times of the day, kind of let everyone make a schedule that works best for their lifestyle. We're still within business hours during the week. But having some staff meetings and team building, one of our therapists, Adam, he's awesome. He had us a few months ago play this game, Minute to Win It, that's big. And we started saying we haven't done it again, but we're going to. It's even for our Christmas party, or just starting our team meetings with some type of team bonding. And so it's just like different little minute games. They started with like an Oreo in my eye, and I had to get that Oreo into my mouth without using my hands. And I was like, this is crazy. And like, it was like the funnest thing we had ever done with the
laughing
team.
their ass off.
Laughing their ass off. It was like the funniest thing that we could have done. And so the other day, we were talking about getting ready for our Christmas party. We do a huge staff Christmas party every year. Something like, I don't know how I'm going to top it, because we did something awesome the last 2 years. But knowing that they know that I invest in them, and I don't know, I'm sure a lot of businesses have this in place, but until a few years ago, I didn't have health insurance and benefits. And those are things that we're able to provide for the team, which is awesome, especially for a small business. I'm not realizing that all small businesses aren't able to do this. I wasn't able the first couple of years for sure. And so to be able to have that and this be a place that's a career, I don't want it to feel like a job to people. It is their career. They're a therapist. They went to school for that. But this is an opportunity to have a place that you can work and feel respected and feel growth. And that's kind of what I do, just to motivate the team.
Well, I know Bryn wants to get her lofty goal in life is to be in sports therapy. Mm-hmm. She wants to be a sports therapist. Obviously, she's in the sports world. So whenever you take on any apprentices in the years to come, I would love to slot Bryn in.
Bryn will be working at Trifecta. You hear that, Bryn? I'm telling you now. One of our therapists, Tasia, I ended up having her on the team because she was at LSU in the Department of Kinesiology, and they asked if she could do her internship for her last semester at Trifecta, which is awesome. Like, you would think that they're doing that more at performance centers or physical therapy centers. But she was on the LSU powerlifting team. She's strong. She's got great energy. She said, I've worked on my friends before. They say I have good hands, And I said, man, let's talk about you going to massage therapy school. She's a hustler because in her last semester, she battled the internship being shut down with COVID, finishing school online, and starting massage therapy program in Lake Charles. She hustled and went every other weekend for a year to finish her program with us. And so then we gladly took her on the team when she finished. So this has just been meeting good people, being blessed, and hopefully, putting them in a position that they can succeed. And we have awesome clients. We couldn't do this without the clients. I'm blown away. Like, no one comes in as a turd. People are giving gifts to the therapist. No, it's amazing. You're like excited. Emily, one of my therapists, I have to shout everyone out, but her her fiance is Antoine Duplantis, who played baseball for LSU. And so Emily will walk in and say, man, you got to see my lineup today. And she'll like list the clients ranging from a 12-year-old to an 80-year-old to a mom that's 38 weeks pregnant. And just the amount of excitement that they get to see someone, that really gets me here in the chest, because that means we've developed something that's special. Like they're looking forward to coming to work. They're looking forward to treating someone. Not like, oh my gosh, I'm at this massage mill playing spa music and I got to go work on like 8 people and don't have that relationship. So I really feel like we've built a really strong culture of community at Trifecta, and that goes with the team and our clientele.
Let me ask you, what do you think is one thing that you do personally or your team does collectively that has directly caused or led to success in your business? Like one thing that you try to do every single day to keep that ball rolling forward.
Make sure everyone knows how important they are on the team.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
We talked about team building with each other recently, and it's something that we've implemented in our business. So we're like our next owners there's only owners. We don't have employees yet, but we're going to the gun range because we want to do something fun with each other. So that's like it's more of a bonding experience. I mean, we're going to talk shop and business and numbers in life, but to do something fun with each other, I think we're going to schedule that in the next couple of weeks. Yeah,
we talk often a lot too on the show about how important building a team is, but it's not just important in business. That's what I'm trying to get across to everybody that I talk to, even outside of the podcast. Building your team is not just about building your little team in business, right? If you're in any kind of leadership capacity anywhere, whether it's in business or it's at your house with your family, like you have to have a core group of people that you know that you can count on, that feel like they're an important part of your life, like that support system. Like a team brings you more than just physical help, right? A team brings you the emotional support, the mental support. We talk about it a lot. It's just so important to identify people in your life that you need to bring in and elevate as part of your tribe, or what I think tribe is the new buzzword for it instead of team.
No, I mean it takes every part of the tribe to make this happen. In fact, my husband's going to start coming and helping us part-time. He's shifting roles now, and he's going to be focused on doing the athletic training for the men's and women's golf team. And we are going to actually have something new and exciting at Trifecta soon, that he's going to be doing some corrective exercise that's golf fitness specific, and or we have a patient that maybe we're not seeing results with and they need a little bit of specific work in that area, but it's really going to be hopefully golf specific. We have a lot of physical therapists and orthopedic surgeons and sports chiropractors that refer us their patients, so we're going to continue to refer out to that, because once again, like you said, our tribe is more than our team and our clients. It's like the networking that we've made within like the Baton Rouge medical community. Wow. I mean, we had an obstetrician that came in the other day and she was like, this is so therapeutic. And I'm like, I know, you need to be sending our patients. The next day we had 4 referrals from 4 of her pregnant clients for us to treat them. So I have an amazing doctor in town. Everything's sports was sports to me to start Trifecta. And we have a rheumatologist in town that comes monthly and started sending her patients that have fibromyalgia. And you're like, wow, we are able to help treat so many things that are more than just like sports now.
Look, Chase started down this road earlier, and I want to go back to it because it just came back up. Did you deliberately go after these sports or these medical professionals, or these are just opportunities that came up that you capitalized on? That's what we're trying to figure out. Like, was this a deliberate, concerted effort, or do you just jump on opportunities and they just work out? Because I think that's important.
I think a little bit of both. I mean, I have a physician that sends me a lot of his patients. Just knowing the work that we did at LSU once again. So already having that relationship, I think, facilitated it. But man, he would be like, I gave like 50 of your clients your business card. And I was like, man, I know, but 50 of your clients didn't call this month. And so we started doing this like referral thing that doctors actually like fill out a referral form for their patients to us, which I think has been awesome. It's able to track our referrals. It's able for us to call the patient. They're like, you know what? They did give me a business card. It's like stuffed in my purse, like bent in half at this point. But once we're calling the patient and saying, hey, you were referred by your obstetrician or this physical therapist or this orthopedic surgeon in town, it seems like like more of a necessity, correct? I mean, you get a call from physical therapy, you get a call from other medical professionals to follow up for an MRI, another doctor's visit. So this is something else that we have implemented, and I think it's been very crucial. Like, it's just a way to, once again, thank the physicians. They get nothing from this, but they get a lot out of knowing that their patients are being taken care of and treated correctly. And
so I think that's really important. The doctors know that whenever they come see you, like, the quality is top notch, and they know that they're going to somebody that cares for their patient as much as they do. You know, otherwise doctors wouldn't refer you. So I think that's a testament to what you've been able to build with your business through exactly what you talked about earlier, being personable and just being a good human being, right? You said that was one of your goals, was to be, that your definition of success is to be a good human being. And I think that you've achieved, if you have other medical professionals referring people to you that they are responsible for, those people are in their care and they're giving them over to you, it means they trust you, right? Because you provide a good product and because you genuinely care about your clients. And I love how that whole thing just came back full circle.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's my aha, we made it moment, not the finance or the growth or the awards or the recognitions. That everyone feeling, and the team of therapists that I have, they feel that too. You know, wow, what an honor to be part of this community, a little bit more medical based, and not that you have to be a referral from a physician, but just the fact that that is a thing. We had a patient the other day that was in pretty bad shape with some back pain, and a little elderly patient of ours, and we stopped. It wasn't even a patient I saw, but we saw them. I saw her coming in. We got her back into her physician. I called her physical therapist with her there, talked about what we saw at the appointment, and now we're like on a little group message, all of us, to kind of figure out what her next step was. Should she be coming to back us? Should she just stay with PT? What the doctors wanted to do, and they actually did a few exams on her and ran a few extra additional tests based on like what we saw and what we felt like she needed to do. So I think that's just very important. Just open lines of communication, and them and everyone feeling like you have their best interest in heart. I mean, and it really is true. I mean, like, that's why we do this, you know. We are blessed with the growth of the business, once again, because people see that they're investing in their health, which is, once again, just so blessed that this many people in the community are just taking that investment into their own health, and that they see good results, and then they refer, you know, their family and friends so that they can take a better investment in their health. I think the pandemic, like, just really set people aside and go, what am I doing? I'm just working all the time. I'm grinding. That was like the first time it probably forced a lot of people just to take a break. I know it forced us to take a break. We had moved into a brand new building, a lot more rent than I had paid before, and it was not operable for 4 months. I mean, it was crazy, and probably the downest time I had ever, knowing I still had a lot of expenses and nothing was coming in, and how I could continue to take care of the expenses of the business and make sure that I didn't lose my team and that they felt supported financially, emotionally, everything. That I mean, big time. Imagine knowing that everyone's wearing a mask and that you have a service that you're providing, like one-on-one treatment with people, never knowing if that's going to come back or not.
We opened our business in COVID, so we our butts are a little tight too.
Yeah, no doubt.
No, I'm meaning that in the nicest way, because, you know, we dive into people that are successful, not just in business and life and sport and athlete, but COVID did a lot of awakening and a lot of like hunkering down and like really thinking about the avenues of business and life and money and finances and emotional stress and spiritual stress and all these other things. I know that we both went through it, and then I feel like we came out stronger mentally, financially, and I would say even a better team during that time.
Oh, without a doubt. Look, so I mean, that's universal of obstacles in general, right? Every time you overcome an obstacle, you come out of the backside of that better than you were when you went into it, right? That's the beauty behind when things go wrong or whenever you run into problems. But I mean, look, we all learned a lot from that. And Anna, I loved hearing your story about how you were able to just stay really clear and really focused on what was important to you, which was helping people and being a good human being. And you were able to culminate all that into a business that's just absolutely taking your market by storm. And I cannot wait to see what that looks like in the future for you. And I want to thank you for coming and sharing that story with us and our audience.
Yeah, I love it. And Justin now is on air. He's got to go get a massage.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, I need to. It's a thing that's got to happen. But as we're wrapping up, do you have any last thoughts or anything you want to hang with the listeners and the viewers?
No, I just think putting some systems in place, being a good communicator, having a vision, and helping surround yourself around people that will help you bring that vision to life.
Plug your sites.
We can go on our Instagram. Our Facebook got hacked and deleted right now, but you can go on our Instagram at Trifecta Sports Therapy. We have a website. We have an Instagram. We have online booking, although first-time clients have to call the office. But you can find us on Google. And hope to see everyone at Trifecta.
Yes.
And all my
Love
Trifecta
it.
people. I'm going to be making sure that they listen to this and
Share it.
and sharing.
Yep. Help us grow, share the show. We said that in season 1. Now it's season 2. Leave a review. I think you got anything to close out with?
No, man. I think what I took from this episode is capitalizing.
Yeah, this that opportunity thing. That's kind of what was hanging on me too.
It really did. That's what I took, learning more about Anna in this show. Because I mean, I've seen Anna over the last couple of years, but now knowing more about the story, she capitalized when things were knocking. And I feel like a lot of people, they just let people just stay knocking, or they don't open the door.
Don't get me wrong. I've freaked out a lot along the way.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Oh,
we
without
didn't,
a doubt.
We didn't hit on that. I've freaked out a lot, but I've had a lot of good people help me get out of my own head and help just realize to get back on track with our goal. And I think that's for any business owner, especially when you have a team that you feel like financially responsible for, clients that you feel responsible for getting into your appointments, and or just in general managing people. So yes, that has happened, but I'm the queen of worry. Trifecta has really grown, especially since the pandemic. We have just tripled our growth rate since then. And so that's been a blessing, I would say. I mean, I have to look at that as a blessing. Our business is booming. And so so many people wanting to get well, but that's been the struggle on like making sure everyone is taken care of and accommodated for. But
That's right.
No, I love it. Like I said a while ago, we want to get the story of people that are hustlers. Like you are a hustler. It's why you were asked to come in here. We want to get your story out in front of as many people as we can, and we definitely appreciate you taking the time out of your very, very busy day to come spend an hour or so with us. So.
And I'd love to get you some more people. Like I said, I've got some people in town that I'm just
for sure.
blessed. So be sharing them with you soon.
Yeah, we want to talk to them, no doubt. That's it. Guys, if you're listening, we always try to give you a little bit of value in every episode. We hope you took something away from this one. If you're a new listener, come back, man. Tell your friends and come back and get some more. Long-term listeners, I mentioned at the beginning, leave us in that review on iTunes. Really helps us out a lot. Appreciate everybody that tunes in week out to see what we got to say. Looking forward to bringing you more content. But until next time, keep your head down, keep your eye on the ball. Hustle makes it happen. But most importantly, have fun. Later.